Hello, my loves. Welcome to today's podcast episode for the Mystics Path podcast. I am your host, Susie Hempstead, and it's so beautiful to be here with you in your ears. So thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, I am in Australia. I'm down on the Great Ocean Road, and it's so beautiful down here. It is winter, so I'm wrapped up in my winter woolies, and I'm recording this episode from the car. So it's a completely different audio setup today. Normally, I'm in my villa in Bali, and I've got my professional mic, and I've got my camera set up, but today there's no video, it's just audio because I really wanted to bring through this transmission and energy update for the month ahead, because August is a big month. We've got big energy coming through. So really wanted to record this podcast episode so that you are prepared for the month that's coming. But before I bring through the energy update and transmission for August, I wanted to acknowledge the energy that we've already moved through in July. And so interesting. Often when I begin these podcast episodes, I'll say something and I feel this wave of emotion move through my body and I feel like I want to cry. And that's how I feel when I tune back into the energy of July. So July was a deep emotional month and the energy of the collective was pretty heavy, and we did expect this because we were moving through Cancer season, and Cancer is the most emotional sign of the zodiac. It is the crab, the symbol of the crab, and really the energy of Cancer is going inwards. It's processing emotions, it's our family, it's our mother, it's home. So during Cancer season, naturally those things are going to be coming up for us to be looked at and to be felt. But we also had a Mercury retrograde for basically the entirety of July. It spanned through most of July. And with Mercury retrograde, we're being asked to really revisit and look back and recode and recalibrate experiences from the past. And because of this energy of Cancer that was overlaying on top of this, it was a really deep month of healing for most of us. Even if we weren't consciously aware of it, there would have been healing happening on a deep cellular level. So I know that many of you listening to this will probably resonate that July was maybe just wasn't the most smooth sailing month for you. And there may have been emotions that came up. I know from lots of people in my life, lots of friends, lots of business owners, lots of healers, that July in particular felt very heavy and there was a lot of emotional processing. So it was quite a tough month on our emotional landscape. And a very strong theme from the month of July was ancestral healing and family healing. So healing around our family line. So if you experienced that, any of that across any of your family members in July, just know that that was beautiful and in line with the energy of July and what was meant to be happening for us. So that theme would have been running through the collective and therefore running through you. So if you did do any healing around your mother, your father, siblings, grandparents, your mother line, your father line, your ancestors, then this is beautiful and the energy was ripe for that. I have actually just closed out and completed my 3-week ancestral container called Ancestry. And within that 3-week container, we did forgiveness ceremonies, inner child ceremonies, ceremonies to heal along the mother line, the father line, and we also went on a shamanic journey. So there was deep, profound healing that happened for the clients that came inside of that container, like really powerful. We're working in the quantum field and also in the physical body, very somatic. So if you feel a call to go deeper into ancestral work at any point in time, that program will be available to purchase and it will hold the energy, and it's encoded with that incredible energy of July and the Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So really supportive energy for anyone who wants to go deeper into that work. The link is in the show notes if you would like to join that. Energy knows no bounds, so you will receive the appropriate healing across those ceremonies. And it's a very simple program. It's just you turn up to the ceremony, you close your eyes, you receive. No homework, anything like that. It's just deep energetic healing work. So that was the month of July. I will close that out here and we'll wrap July up in a nice little golden bow and just say thank you, July, for your healing and the deep work, the shadow work that happened in July. And now we are moving into a fresh month. So I am recording this on the 3rd of August. And I am telling you, when the 1st of August hit, I was like, yes, it's go time. I feel such good energy around August. August always has a much lighter energy, and we've moved into Leo season. So Leo is the sun of the zodiac. Leo is the sign that likes to shine its light in the world, and has the courage of a lion and leads from the heart. So it's just such a beautiful energy to be experiencing. And even if you have no Leo in your natal chart, you will be impacted and moved by this energy this month. So we're in Leo season, and that means a couple of things. So the first thing is that we have the Lion's Gate portal happening on the 8th of August. So 8th of the 8th, that will be landing on Saturday. And this is one of my favorite portals to work with in the entire year. So every single year I will run a portal event because the energy is so beautiful, it's so potent. And when we're working with this energy amongst many other people in the collective, we can amplify our manifestations and amplify our ability to receive abundance as well. So the Lionsgate portal is actually a window of time. It opens, I think, on the 26th of July. So we're currently in that portal, and it runs until the 12th of August. And during that time, the most incredible light codes come through, cosmic light codes come through to the planet. And we receive this shifting consciousness across Mama Gaia and across all of the people that live on this planet. So even if you do nothing whatsoever, you're still going to be receiving these light codes and coding. It's so funny because literally as I'm saying this, it's just started raining and it's like I'm being showered down with light codes. So that's really beautiful and interesting. So I hope this isn't going to impact the audio, but it is raining and I am sat in a car. So anyway, Lionsgate portal, there's an incredible alignment that happens with our spiritual sun, Sirius, our planet, and Orion. So there's this beautiful cosmic alignment, and it all comes to culmination. So it comes to its peak point on the 8th of the 8th. So my invitation to each and every one of you who's listening to this is to do something on the 8th of the 8th to anchor in this energy. Do some form of manifestation ritual, some form of energy work to really call in your deepest desires, your biggest dreams, the things that you want to manifest in your life, because this portal will be an incredibly potent time to be manifesting. The past few years, something interesting has always landed on the 8/8 portal for me, whether it's signing contracts for new businesses that I'm starting, or what happened last year. I can't remember what happened last year, but there was a new business that I'd started. Our bank account opened on the 8th of the 8th. So the 8th of the 8th holds that manifestation power, but also really associated with abundance and infinite potential, because the 8 is the infinity loop. So we're really working with this infinite ability to manifest and be able to manifest infinite abundance. So I will be holding an event this year for the 8/8 portal. I held one last year. Last year was quite different. The ceremony I held, it was a very intimate experience and it was more focused on abundance coding. This year there will be some of that flavor coming through, but it's going to be more of manifestation ritual and higher self activation. So connecting with your higher self. And this year I'm doing something I've never done before, which is holding the 8/8 portal for $8. So usually my ceremonies are a lot higher investment than that. But this year I really want to create an experience where as many people can join as possible, and the finances is not a barrier. So this year, $8, come to the ceremony, receive. You will receive that back for sure in terms of your energy and the upgrades that you receive. So that is happening on the 8th of the 8th, and I would love to see you there. The link is in the show notes to the 8/8 portal event. It's happening on Saturday. Then we have an incredible new moon. And this is not your regular new moon. This is a new moon solar eclipse in Leo. Now, a new moon in Leo is such beautiful, potent, powerful energy. But on top of that, it's a solar eclipse. So it's an eclipse. So the amplification of energy here is profound. And then also, Jupiter moved into Leo just a few weeks ago. So there's this like extra layer of Leo energy on top. Whenever I'm working with Leo energy, especially a new moon, this is a time to really call in new levels of leadership, new levels of being seen, new levels of leading from your heart, new levels of abundance and earthly pleasures, really. So a Leo new moon is particularly powerful if there is a leap that you want to take in your reality, okay? So speaking especially to business owners and those of you who are wanting to move up the career ladder, this is a new moon to be manifesting those kind of things, those kind of leaps in your identity, the way that you're seen in the world, who you are in the world, and opening yourself up to receive more love, more joy, more abundance, and more eyes on your work and more eyes on, what you put out there in the world. So a beautiful, beautiful new moon. I always love a new moon in Leo, and the fact that this year it falls inside of an eclipse season and it's an eclipse, like this is like earth-shattering energy to be working with. So again, work with this energy, please. Like do some form of ritual to really honor this energy of this new moon. So as I said, that new moon is happening on the 12th of August. It's actually the 13th of August if you are in Australia, and I'm going to be holding a new moon ceremony on the 14th of August, which is a Friday. And the reason I do that, many of you who've been inside of my moon memberships will know why I hold a new moon ceremony after the new moon. And that is because when we're working with new moon energy, we want to be working with it after the moon. Okay, so after the moon has reached its peak, that is when we drop into ritual, drop into manifestation, and start to call in the things that we desire. We don't want to do it before the new moon peak because that is what we call the dark moon, and that is still a time that we're shedding and releasing. Okay, so with a new moon, quite often we can feel this kind of drop in our energy, or we may not be feeling great before a new moon, and that is because we're in the dark moon phase. And really that is the time that we have our little trowel and we're moving the earth, we're prepping the soil to be able to plant our seeds in the dark moon. And then it's not until we have the new moon in its fullness, it's not until after that then we can plant the seeds. Okay, now, eclipse season is slightly different because the energy of eclipse is that we are in a period of time where it's almost like it's God's time. It's God's plan. It's the universe's time. It's the universe's plan. So during eclipse season, my recommendation and my invitation is always to surrender, okay? And stop micromanaging our life and really surrender and let the universe take over and guide us where we're meant to be guided. Now, many of you listening to this podcast, I know, listen to your intuition, you follow your heart, you follow those nudges and those flutters, and that will mean that you are living a pretty aligned life. And you'll know if there's places in your life where you're like, yeah, that's probably not fully aligned with my soul. You will already know that because you're intuitive. So during an eclipse season, if we've been doing the work outside of eclipse season and listening to the soul nudges and trusting our intuition, then eclipse seasons are usually a really beautiful time of, fated events, surprise events, beautiful things happening, and the universe just kind of showing up and giving us some cool things. Like the last eclipse season, some incredible things happened in my life. So eclipses, I love an eclipse season. However, because it is a time of fated events and it's a time of like recalibration for your soul path, like bringing you back on path if you've come off. If you're someone who is not in alignment, eclipse season can basically come in and quite drastically put you back on your path. So an example of this would be, say you're in a job that is really not aligned and is just very misaligned with what your soul chose to do in this lifetime and your soul mission work, then eclipse season could be a time where you just randomly get fired. It could be a time of, I don't know, just something super significant happening that might not be comfortable, but is actually going to support you in the long term. And it's going to be very supportive for your soul and your higher self, but your ego might not like it. Okay, so this is just something to be aware of when we're in eclipse season, is that big events can happen, big things can happen. And the most important thing for us to do as humans is to just trust and surrender that whatever is happening for our highest good and for our highest mission, our highest soul path. Okay. So my invitation for you during eclipse season is to surrender. Okay. Surrender, let go, surrender, let go, surrender, let go. Okay. And the universe will deliver you whatever is in your highest alignment to fulfill your highest destiny. So that is the Leo new moon solar eclipse. Again, reiteration for those of you in business, this is a leadership activation moon. I will also be holding a Leo new moon ceremony. And if you would like to join that, then the link is in the show notes for that as well. And there will be a replay if you cannot make it live. And then finally, we have my favorite full moon of the year, which is a full moon in Pisces. Okay, so full moon in Pisces is happening on August the 28th, Australia time. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's still going to be August 28th, unless you're in America, it will be the 27th. And I'm holding a ceremony for that moon on let me just double check, the 26th of August. So with a full moon, I'll always hold ceremony before the fullness of the moon, because we're working with this clearing, healing, purging energy. And we want to do that before the moon hits its peak. Okay. So full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. So the full moon in Pisces is also an eclipse, just one of the most profound energies that we'll be working with this year. Seriously. So a lunar eclipse signifies endings, completion, and it's in the sign of Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, which again is the sign of endings and completion. So this moon is like double whammy with this energy. So when I feel into the energy of this full moon, we're working with the energy of Pisces. Pisces is the most spiritual sign of the zodiac. It's the sign that can tap into other realms, other dimensions, and can see beyond the 3D. So this full moon is a really big invitation to you to, first of all, release anything that's not serving you, anything that you're like, okay, completion, ending to that cycle, that pattern, that imprint, that situation, like boom, on the full moon, I want to complete that. And if you have any kind of wounding or fears around your spirituality, this is a moon to really shift that. Okay. So all of you listening to this podcast, I mean, there's no way you would even tune in to the Mystics Path podcast and an energy update if you were not intuitive and in touch with your spiritual side, connected to your higher self, and aware that there is more than meets the eye on the planet. So with that often comes fears around being seen as a spiritual person. I know I definitely went through that at the beginning of my journey, like really this rejection of being seen as spiritual. There may be past life wounding from past lives where you were a powerful healer or a shaman or a witch, and you were prosecuted, you were killed for your magic. So a lot of us who are intuitive in this lifetime and feel called into this work and these spaces and these podcasts, we will have had past lives where we have done deep, important spiritual work. So a lot of us will have witch wounding that needs to be cleared and released. And then, if you have any self-doubt around your gifts, you have self-doubt around being seen, you're worried about being seen in your medicine and your magic, definitely work with the energy of this full moon. It is going to be one of the most potent, powerful cleansing releases that you can work with. I promise you this. And I'm actually going to give you a really good example of this. So a few years ago, actually it was back in 2021, I think, or 2022, I was working with the energy of the full moon in Pisces. I was holding a retreat in Thailand, and the full moon in Pisces happened to land in the middle of the retreat, which was perfect because this was the first retreat that I was really stepping more into my quantum healing work. The clients on the retreat were having these insane experiences, like flying off into the universe, meeting goddess Isis for the first time. And this was all really new to me as well as a space holder, because I was like, whoa, what are all these things that are happening inside of my spaces? And clients were having new experiences they'd never had before. So this was like a deeply activating retreat experience for me because it expanded who I was and my identity as a healer and as a space holder. So to have a full moon in Pisces slap bang in the middle of the retreat was like so perfect and really supportive for all of us just to shed and release anything that was holding us back. So we did this particular ritual and we wrote out what we wanted to release. And one of the things that I really needed to release was an ex-partner. So a partner from the past who I loved very deeply, and I was still holding on to this like hope that potentially one day we could be reconnected. But what was happening in the astral for about a year was every time I would engage with his energy in the astral, he'd be very close to me. And I spend a lot of time in astral. I sleep a lot at night. What I receive in the astral is pretty accurate for real life. Like I'm usually connecting with people's higher selves when I'm in the astral plane. So that particular full moon in Pisces, I wrote down like, okay, it's time. I'm going to clear and release this person. And then that night I had a dream with him. And I remember standing in front of him and he just looked me square in the eyes. And he just said to me, Susie, you have to let me go. You have to let me go. You have to let me go. And I remember waking up and I was in floods of tears. And it was interesting because, consciously I'd written this letter and thrown it in the fire and said, right, I release this person. But when his higher self came to me and said, you're the one that has to let me go, that felt very painful for my human. But that was pivotal in fully releasing him from my life. So honestly, working with this Pisces full moon, lunar eclipse energy, it's going to be the most powerful Pisces full moon that I think we've experienced for the last, 12 years, because it does have the eclipse energy layered on top. Okay. So really, really, really encourage you to be doing any form of work with water on this full moon as well. So, having a deep cleanse in the shower, a long soak in the bath, getting in the ocean, getting in a body of water somewhere, because Pisces is a water sign. So that's really going to support you with shifting and releasing. So you can just set the intention before you go into the water. Please help me release X, Y, or Z. Okay, I'm also holding a ceremony for the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, as I've already mentioned. So if you feel called to that particular ceremony, then would love to hold space for you as we drop into a really deep healing. Like when I feel into the energy of that particular moon, it's deep. I'm also a Pisces North Node and a Pisces rising. So like Pisces energy is like a huge part of my chart and a huge part of my medicine that I bring to the world. So it will be potent, that particular ceremony. Extra potent, I should say. All of my ceremonies are potent, but this one will be extra potent. So that is the energy for August, my loves. Like a lot happening. We've got 2 major eclipses. We've got the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. I feel like so much beautiful energy coming through for each and every one of us. Like jumps into new realities, doing big things, being seen in new ways. So if there's something that you've been sitting on, something you've been waiting to do, like do it this month. Like work with this energy. It's going to be incredibly powerful to do so. And if you've listened to this podcast episode and you're like, okay, great, this sounds like an awesome month ahead and I want to be supported as deep as I can be energetically, then I've decided this month to create a August energy bundle. Because when I looked at the astrology and the energy of this month, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do something for 8/8 portal. I have to do something for the Leo solar eclipse and the Pisces lunar eclipse. Like I just have to. My soul was screaming like you have to hold space for people with this energy. So I've created the August energy bundle, and that includes all of the ceremonies for $55. Massive saving if you go for all 3. And my ceremonies usually range from $33 up to $111. So I wanted to just do something for such a beautiful energy exchange this month to really support you, because I know so many of you are here to do incredible things on this planet and your medicine and your magic is here to be shared. So this month, especially for the New Earth leaders, the light workers out there, those of you who are wanting to make a pivot or a shift in your career, those of you who are wanting to expand more into your medicine work and be seen more in the world and step into deeper levels of leadership, this month, I'm telling you, is an activation portal. So please, please, please work with this energy the best you can. Drop into ceremony, spend more time in meditation, and let the energy of this month carry you. Eclipse season, as I said, is a month of fated events, trust and surrender. So it's going to be a beautiful month ahead. The more you surrender, the more you're going to receive. So that's it for today, my loves. I will complete there. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Mystics Path podcast. I have loved filming this from the car. Honestly, it's so beautiful in Australia today. There's not a single cloud in the sky that I can see. Oh, actually, yes, there are. But if I look out the left side of the window here, it's just blue skies, it's sunny. It's a winter's day, so I am wrapped up warm, but it's beautiful. So it's felt very special just to come out in the car and record this for you, so that it can land in your ears on Wednesday. All right, loves, I will speak to you soon. Have a beautiful August, whatever you get up to. And I would love to see you inside of one of my ceremonies or all of them if you feel the call. All right, loves, until next time, I'll speak to you soon.